So today I want to talk about weaves and kind of mastering weaves. Weaves are pretty central to poi spinning. They're fun, they feel good, they look good, you can dance and really move with them. And basically weaves, in a way, they're kind of, they're one of the sort of essential poi moves. And depending on how much you've mastered them and how much you've played with them, there's a big range in how free and how graceful and how good they look and how it feels. And particularly today I want to talk about the idea of the imaginary center point in which the whole weave is moving around. So let's just look at a forwards weave. And just look at my hands for a moment and how my hands are circling. And see if you can see how there's kind of a bit of an imaginary point in the middle that my hands are circling around. And the poi are an extension of that, so the poi are also moving around that imaginary center point. So that point can get bigger. Right? So there's the imaginary middle of the circles between my hands, or it can be smaller. No matter how big and small it gets, there's that imaginary point. And I'm not doing it perfectly. I'm just doing it better than I once did. So there's some ways to play with that. And one of the great ways that I found a lot of fun is using a tether of some kind and holding it between your hands. And that makes it really tangible and obvious and tactile where that center point is. And then you can really play with it. So hopefully you can see, I've put a knot in the middle of the tether. And I can pick a length, so I can go from, let's start pretty full length. And I'm going to circle my hands around that point on the tether. So that point on the tether is moving side to side, but it's staying at exactly the same height. And it makes my hands move in a new way to circle around them. I can also do it backwards. And to start that, your best way to do it is to start with just the tether, and might take you a moment to see exactly what I mean. So you got your tether, and you're going to go through a weaving motion. And the thing is, what people usually do is they get to here where, say, my right hand's about to cross over to the left side, and they just pull across like this. Then the left, when it gets here, it just pulls across. And that's okay, but that means that the circles of the poi will be a little bit lumpier. Because there's the size of those circles. Now I'm just going to pull. It's kind of hard to do now, I've played with the tether so much. If I'm just pulling across, that kind of makes the circles get kind of randomly bigger and smaller, which isn't necessarily bad. Depends on your objective. It's nice it can be nice if you're able to make those circles keep a consistent size. Because then they pass through themselves a bit more and you get a bit more persistence of vision. And there's a real, same thing as like, in a windmill, if you've got your hands really kind of on point and the circles are a bit consistent, looks a lot better than if they're kind of like lumpy and all over the place. Same idea. So with your tether, I want you to just try this. That you get to here where, say, the left is about to cross over the right, and you let it dip right down below the right as the right comes up. Unwind, and when you get to here, the right dips down as the left comes up. So the whole tether keeps circling forwards. Right? Like the tether's doing this, as opposed to doing this. Right? It's always circling forwards, and it's moving side to side like this. Right? And your hands are weaving, and you've got to figure out how to let the right go down as the left comes up, left go down as the right comes up, to keep that tether as if it is doing this, right? Not this. See the difference? If you're doing this, circles are bigger, smaller, bigger, smaller. If you're doing this, then it's moving more like this. And so the circles are going to be a lot more even. Of course, your elbows can't go through each other, so you just want to get as good at it as you can. Just so you've been, and then you can go back to either, you can go many places. So you can do that with the tether quite short. You can do that with the tether a lot longer. And it's one of those exercises that it's much of a body exploration as anything else. It's going to teach you a lot about how your whole body moves. And the nice thing is it also teaches you how you interact with the space and kind of parts of space you're not even touching. So it really starts to give you what I call like kind of a chi ball feeling, where there's that point between your hands, and if you're really moving around that point, you start to feel almost like an energy ball, which eventually you'll be able to fire at your enemies. You know, if you have any. So get a tether, anything will work, a sock, tie a knot in the middle, and just play with it. See what it shakes loose. Well worth it. By the way, if you like this video and you like me and you like Playpoi, please do come to playpoi.com to watch videos and get on the mailing list for the newsletter, because that helps me announce cool stuff like, I don't know, if I wanted to do a Poi retreat in Peru and you've always wanted to go, that would be fun. But you're not going to know unless you get on the subscription, probably. So do subscribe to the mailing list. I mean, look, I've come to Lakeside Park on a rainy day just to make this video for you. So show me your love, let me know you appreciate me, and I'll be making more videos, one way or the other. But more happily if I think you love me.